Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Dirt Racing Network's live coverage of the National Dirt Racing Association Super Late Model Series. From Knoxville this afternoon, race number one for these guys. Getting a little bit of a late start. Had a little bit of a late registration spurt here at the end. Weren't sure that they were going to have enough drivers to even put the show on, but now we are good to go. So practice winding down, drivers getting ready to head for qualifying. As soon as they do, we'll get our pre-race ceremonies out of the way. Come back with heat race at number one.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, welcome back, everybody. Qualifying coming to a close. Devin Cardwell, your quick qualifier. It looks like we are going to have one giant heat race. Everybody in here racing for their starting position in the feature. So we will get down here to that starting grid. Be Devin Cardwell on the pole from Knoxville, Tennessee in the 70 machine, and on his outside, the 7 of Camden Johnson. Row 2 on the inside, Jonathan Byram in the 4 car, and on his outside, the volunteer race reps number 22 from Maryville, Tennessee, Brennan Weeks. Your third row inside, Ben Countermarsh, the 12 car, and on the outside of him, the dependable security Cochran Boys Racing number 3 from Ringgold, Georgia, Carden Cochran. Fourth row, Brian Wax, the 14 car. Scheduled to be outside in the 11, the Sam's Vending Machine from DeLand, Florida, Josh Kunzbeck. Your fifth row inside, Brandon Voiles in the 2 machine. And the 118 Checkers of Records HRT Sim Racing car from Rensselaer, Indiana, of Josh Hessen on the outside of that row. Row 6, Cody Williams. 26 car on the outside, the Henry's Talking 00 from Newport, Tennessee, Stephen Brady. Your 7th row up on the inside, Samuel Leclerc in the 13, and on the outside of him in the 6, we Damian Paul. And your back row, Peyton Anderson in the 43 by himself. So 15 cars. I see 13 of these guys have rolled it out here. 1 heat race, and then we will have a 50-lap feature race for you. All right, first pace lap. Past the front stretch grandstands. Drivers ready to go. Samuel Leclerc and Peyton Anderson did not make the call for the heat race. So a short mini feature and then our big feature, and where these guys finish in this heat race is where they will start for the big show. All right, pace truck headed to the infield.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. We are underway. 6 lap. Dash for position, basically. Cardwell jumps to the point. Johnson behind that. Byram, Weeks. Your top 4. Here comes Countermarsh up the inside. Countermarsh trying to fend off Koonsbeck. 11 car of Koonsbeck around the outside. I think the track is pretty equal right now. I think there's enough tack on both lines. It is going to be pretty even no matter which line you're going to run. You're going to see a lot of guys right through the middle of the corners. Good battle there. 4th and 5th. And now Weeks takes the spot. That's the black and orange number 12 over Countermarsh as Countermarsh got around Koonsbeck. Cochran right in behind that. Contact between Cochran and Hessen. Hessen's car around. And that's going to trigger the caution flag as Hessen, the 118, the yellow machine here, is going to get right to the side. Oh, a little contact there. Slowed up Cochran. I don't think Hessen knew Cochran was that slow and coming down from the outside. Hessen took the 118 car straight into pit road. He is going to get it worked on before the feature. So a quick green-white checker before we go on to the feature. We'll finish these guys up right here. They should restart single file. Cardwell, Johnson, Byram, Weeks. Koonsbeck is 5th. Countermarsh, Cochran, Wax, Voiles, Williams, Brady, and then Paul tagging the back here in this 52 car. Josh Hessen still in work area, and I think that car's just going to stay there for the remainder of this one, and he will start at the back of the big feature. So lights went off on the pace truck that time. We're going to go green out of 4 for the remaining 2 laps of our heat race. right, there goes our pace truck. Just waiting, and there it is. Throttle pedal depressed. Cardwell and Johnston get away from third. It looks like Byram was sleeping a little on the restart. Won't be able to do that in the feature. That'll cost you positions quickly. Well, we are going to come around and see the white flag. One more time to go. Looks like everybody pretty much staying single file here. I see the 12 car Weeks down on the bottom. Only car out of line. He's able to hold the position. Didn't make up any ground. Didn't really lose any. So it'll be Cardwell, Johnston, Byram, and then Koonspec, your top four. Brennan Weeks gonna get fifth in this mini feature here. This is just for the starting positions in the big race. As they wrap that up, I'm sure these guys will have a couple of minutes of track prep here, and then they'll get ready to go 50 green flag laps for the feature. They come out for track prep. We will have a couple of quick commercials for you. Drivers starting to roll out, so we will pay some bills.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
That could be true, Mr. Scott. That could be true. Drivers rolling off. Ready to go green now out of 4. Cardwell and Johnston on the front row. Just waiting on the green handkerchief. There it is. 50-lap feature underway. National Dirt Racing Association Super Late Models. Cardwell quickly to the point. Johnston in behind that. Then Byram and Kunzbeck, 3 and 4. Those 4 cars with a tiny gap between 5th place Brendan Weeks. And then Ben Countermarsh, Carden Cochran, Cody Williams, Brian Wax, Josh Hessen from 13th all the way to 10th. Already we just completed 1 lap. About a lap and a half now as they go through turns 3 and 4. New leader out of turn 4. He worked through the middle. Camden Johnston takes the spot away at the line from Cardwell. Cardwell tried the slider. I don't know if that's going to work or not. It's going to at least get him even. He's going to have a shot here. He'll go in, set the car early, and try to cut back underneath out of 4. Race to the line still. Camden Johnston out front. That time Cardwell caught the burn, really got the car out of shape. He lost a lot of momentum in 2. Now he's going to go for slider in 3 and 4 again. Good crossover maneuver from Johnston, but Cardwell had the lead that time at the line. Great battle for the front position right here. We're only 4 laps into this thing. This time, can Cardwell make it stick? Looks like he's got it by at least a full car. So Cardwell back to the point. Johnson second, then Byram. Kunzbeck in a 3-car battle. Weeks and Countermarsh all over him. He's going to keep 4th. Then Weeks, Countermarsh, Williams, Cochran, Wax is 9th, and Hessen still back here in 10th, but he's making a move. Move him up to the 9th position around Brian Wax that time. Now he's making a move on the 3-car of Carden Cochran. Keeping that 118 car locked on the inside and making forward progress. Just about even for 8th that time at the line. Maybe 2 for 1 here coming out of turn 2. If he can find some grip. Couldn't quite get it done that time. Does pick up 8th. Move Cochran back. But now Williams in the 26 trying to keep the door closed. Right in front of these guys, that battle still with Kunzbeck, Countermarsh, and Weeks is going on. Now it's Weeks up to 4th. Countermarsh got around Kunzbeck as well, so that puts him back to 6th. Cardwell starting to get away. He got about 6/10 of a second right here between 1st and 2nd and between 2nd and 3rd. Byram got around Johnston while we were watching the battles back deeper in the field. So Johnston back to 3rd after a short-lived battle for the point. Go back now. The 118 car of Kunzbeck. Or the 11 car, excuse me, the 11 car of Kunzbeck. Trying to battle back. Got moved back to 6th. Trying to close in on Weeks. We'll go look at the 118 quickly. He's gotten around the 26, trying to hang on to the spot. In 7th right now. Crossover move coming right here. He should get the spot back at the line easily. Now keep Hessen up to 7th. Gap at the front starting to close just a little bit. Byram's got it down to under 4/10. That time at the line, 0.332 seconds. Johnston still 3rd. Big gap back to 4th as Countermarsh has gotten away from Weeks and Kunzbeck. That battle settled, it appears. Kunzbeck into 5th. Weeks back to 6th. Williams got around Hessen again. Now he is 7th. Hessen is 8th, and Hessen's got company. Brian Wax bringing the 14 car back up to the 9th position, and Cochran sits in 10th. Brady, Voiles, and Paul back here. And Damian Paul running at 13th. You can see going into turn 3, your leaders. Coming out of turn 2 right now. watch our top two at least briefly here. Cardwell put a couple of tenths on that lap, got it back out to almost 0.6 of a second. Countermarsh here in the 4th spot. Koonsbeck and Weeks going at each other for 5th. Wax got around Johnson, got around Cochran, got around Williams, make him 7th. Hessen in 8th. Then Cochran Williams has a little damage on the left rear of the car, it looks like. Side panel looked folded in a second ago. Looks better now. Right corner definitely folded in. Gap starting to stretch at the front. Cochran was 1.4. It looks like Byram maybe having a connection issue. He's falling out of our server. So opens up the gap from Cardwell to Johnson to 2.2 seconds. Almost another full second back to Countermarsh now in 3rd. Koonsbeck, Weeks 4th and 5th still. Getting close to halfway. Cardwell worked around the 52 of Damian Paul. That puts Paul 1 lap down. Cardwell working the slider line. Let's go on board and listen to the throttle in the car. .7 seconds that time, 1st to 2nd. Now Cardwell's going to go down to the bottom. Couple of laps with Mr. Cardwell. He's going to run the bottom right there. .4 seconds. Johnson's starting to reel him back in. Cardwell about 0.2 of a second slower here, running the bottom. He's going to be at halfway this time by. Johnson running the top side, so is Countermarsh. Good battle here, 4th and 5th. Still Koonsbeck and Weeks going side by side. Hessen now has gotten around everybody that was in front of him up to 5th. Or up to 6th, excuse me. Oh, a little bit of a slider there from Wax. Doesn't seem to have slowed down the 118 too much. He's going to go to the top side. Use the momentum. Should drive right by down the back stretch. Maybe spun the tires a little bit on the exit. Now has the spot cleanly to himself, so move Hessen to 6th. Weeks and Koonsbeck still going at it. All the way to the fence. Weeks took the 11 car that time. Big blink. A lot of big blinking going on from that 12 machine. Now Koonsbeck right to him. These two getting hooked up. 11 on top, the 12, and that's a lot of contact. They're going to give up a lot of space to the guys in front and close the gap. The guys behind. It was 4 seconds. Now down to 3.6. Back to the 118 of Hessen. Cardwell. 2.4 seconds when we lost Byram. He's been running on the bottom, and he has let Camden Johnson catch back up. That is down to 6 tenths of a second. And I wondered if maybe the 70 car put himself in a little light on fuel, and he had to go to the bottom to save a little. He may come a roaring back here with Johnson around the outside. Camden Johnson erased 2.4 seconds worth of gap and now has the lead going into turn 3. New leader by himself. Camden Johnson in the 7 car. Here comes the 70 of Cardwell. Had his hands full for just a moment with Stephen Brady. Brady gave him plenty of room on the bottom. Cardwell really tiptoeing around the bottom side of this track. I got to think that that is a fuel conservation tactic right there. So Ben Countermarsh now has reeled him in. Ben was third and about 3.5 seconds back at one point. He just took over second. Johnson up here around Paul again. So put Damian
All right, man,
Paul
caution is
2
out.
down.
Caution is out.
Caution. Uh-oh, did Cardwell run it out of fuel? Let's go back. He might have got it hooked up on the berm and spun it out. No, just really slowed the car down. We'll see. Something's going on with the 70. If he turns hard left right here and brings it into the pits, nope. Rolls her around on the bottom. Not sure what's going on there with that 70 machine. Johnston is first. Countermarsh second. Kunzbeck up to third. Hessen looks to be in fourth. Cardin Cochran in the 5th spot. Just waiting for the guys to get lined up according to what iRacing is telling them. Brennan Weeks has the 22 car in the infield. Gotta wonder if some of these guys were thinking about a shorter race than 50 laps. But the field bunched up, ready to go back to green again. 15 laps remain. There's the loud land the green flag. We're back underway. 15 laps to go. Johnson, Countermarsh, Kunzbeck, and Hessen your top 4. Then Cochran in 5th. Things getting sorted out behind him. Wax into 6th. Broyles and Cardwell side by side. Brandon Voiles keeps the 22 machine on the outside. Keeps the spot. Cardwell down around the inside. Runs 8th. Then Williams. Then Brady in 10th. And Paul runs 11th. Countermarsh making a bid for the lead off the top side of 2. Ben Countermarsh. 2 of the point, coming to 12 to go. Here comes Hessen. Hessen's working the bottom, trying to get around Kunzbeck. In low, got the 118 car locked on the berm down there, getting out of 2, got held up by the slower Camden Johnson. Now Johnson goes top shelf, opens the bottom. That might allow Hessen to go through. Hessen into 3rd. Little hot through 1 and 2. I don't know if he was going to try the slider line Oh, gets a lot of help there from the 11 car of Kunzbeck. Had what I thought was the spot, and he ends up getting turned on the slide job. Not a great view there. We probably need to take a better look at this from a different angle here. Right up the hill this time right here. Bumps that berm in there, moves the car a little bit further to the right. Hit right in the bumper area there, and you can see it folded up when he backed it into the fence. So, Countermarsh, Johnson, Kunzbeck, Wax, and Cochran the top 5 as we get down to 10 to go. Lights off on the Pace vehicle. Drivers will double up and get ready for the restart. Cardwell back to 6th with 10 to go. Whatever was wrong with the 70 car appears to be okay now. Countermarsh on the throttle quickly when the pace truck left the racing service, and the green flag is going to come out over that restart. Here's some contact. Kunzbeck and Cardwell. Cardwell was right down on the bottom. I don't know if Kunzbeck didn't know he got up beside him already or not. There was contact there, slowed up Kunzbeck. Now Cardwell alongside Wax. This for 3rd. Cardwell now up the inside, clears into the 3rd position. Johnson and Countermarsh about 3/4 of a second ahead. 8 laps to go that time. Side by side, almost 3 wide right there, out of 2. Wax, Kunzbeck, and Cochran, and a little bit of contact moves Cochran off the line. Now, here comes Cardwell. Clear of everybody, no cars to battle. Can focus on trying to run down the 2 leaders. Going to be 6 to go this time through 3 and 4. Gap about 4/10 from 2nd to 3rd. Just a couple of car lengths from 1st to 2nd. The laps are winding down. Running out of time quickly. If someone's going to do something, they better do it quick. 5 to go this time, Bob. Good 3-wide battle back here. 4th, 5th, and 6th. A little contact. That time Kunzbeck got lifted up just a little off of Brian Wax's nose. Wax is the one that pays the price. Quick look back here. 118 car of Hessen in that last caution up to 8. We'll go back to the front. Now Cardwell back, slider for 2nd. I don't know if that's going to work out for him or not. It's going to get him up alongside both cars. Staying in contact with your leader until right there. Now Countermarsh gets a pretty healthy gap with 3 to go. This time Cardwell goes up the hill. Too much momentum. Johnson able to counter these very early. Get back. Ben Countermarsh all alone out here, half a second in front. That time Cardwell into the berm pretty hard. Almost got the car sideways the wrong way. White flag of this time out of turn 4. Countermarch, Johnson, Cardwell. Best battle on the track has been for second the last 3 or 4 laps. And I don't think that battle's quite over. Oh, it looks like Johnson running out of fuel right there. That's going to open things up. It is going to be all Countermarch out of turn 4. Too much gap. He's going to win it today. Cardwell second. And Cardin Cochran is going to come home in third. Then Wax Voiles. I think Hessen is going to be, Hessen's in the infield, so he is going to finish 7th behind Johnston. That is going to be shook up. We will get the final results here shortly as we wait for them to sort it all out. Cars running out of fuel and having to go to the pits and everything else. But we'll talk to Cardin. We will talk to Ben, and we'll try to talk to Davin if he's around. Watching the winner. I think he's going to try to get it in here in the winner's circle. I don't know if that's going to work out for him or not. Maybe he's just going to circle around through there and come back out for us. Let's get him set up right there. Oh, we will grab third place. Cardin Cochran, talk to him. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to talk to Devin Cardwell or not. We'll see if he shows up in chat. But we can talk to Cardin Cochran real quick here. Third place finisher this evening. You there, Cardin?
Yep, I got you.
Well, a couple of guys had to have bad luck, but you kept the car close to the front. You stayed in the top 5 for a long time there. Tell us what was going on inside the car during the feature.
Worrying about running out of fuel, for one.
Looked like a lot of people were.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it looked like several cars were concerned about running out of fuel. A couple of them did there at the end. Hard to calculate for 50 laps?
Yeah, especially since the track was a lot tackier in the beginning than normal. With the amount of fuel I had, I should have been fine for a regular slick track, but tacky track, right as I went across the line, it sputtered after the checker. So I was a little close.
Well, at least you made it to the checkers, man. Limited car count today, but still a pretty good race. We saw, one driver drive away from the field, and then for whatever reason, he just kind of slowed and stopped. I don't know if he was having technical issues or what, but it kind of changed the complexion of this race when that happened. Any chatter from the drivers?
Just mostly about fuel stuff, and then a couple complaining about getting passed, but it's racing.
That's part of it, man. Well, tell us who helps you out each and every week before we let you get out of here and start preparing for race number 2.
Dependable Security Systems, Rick Worley and Sons, and Milestone Paint and Body. They're my real-life sponsors and my iRacing sponsors because I put their logos on my cars.
All right, man. Well, thanks for chatting with us, and good luck in the 358s here in a little bit.
Yep, thank you.
Third place finisher, Cardin Cochran. Don't think we're going to get to talk to Mr. Cardwell. I do not see him anywhere around, so we will skip, and we will talk to our winner, Ben Countermarch. You got a copy. Hello, Ben.
How's it going?
Well, for you, pretty good. You picked up the win today, man. A great run out there. Did you have to worry about fuel at all?
Yeah, we had about 0.8 gallons left, and my teammate had 0.1 gallons left at the end of the race. So about last 10 laps there, we were letting up, and I was just trying to leave enough space between me and first and second to stay up front, and luckily we had enough.
Well, fantastic run. It looked like just about everybody out there was on fuel conservation strategies, and that really changed the complexion of the race, especially with that caution with about 15 to go. You were still sitting about third when that happened. What changed that got you the lead cleanly by yourself?
Well, I wasn't really happy with the car tonight at all. I mean, we just didn't have it right, and so we didn't have a good heat race. And a couple of guys made mistakes up in front of me. Davin had something happen to him, and then I don't know that Josh or there's another guy had something happen to him, and we just kind of ran the course. And luckily, we got that caution there towards the end, and I knew I was going to have a chance to make a run on the outside. And at that point, that was really all we had to do.
Well, a fantastic run. You pick up the win here with just a few weeks left. Good momentum builder for the rest of the season?
Yeah, absolutely. It's 2 weeks in a row for us to get a win, and hopefully we can score another one next week.
All right, man, who's on the car helping you out before we let you get out of here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Recruit Chief Jeff, Reliable Energy Solutions, Newton Cattle Farmers Racing, Toter Family Racing, Hustler Button Boxes, and Turn 2 Crew.
All right, man, thanks for chatting with us. You running the 358s?
No, don't think so. We've got some other stuff we got to take care of, but appreciate you guys having us. Thanks for putting this on.
All right, no problem, man. We will see you next week.
Thank you.
Ben Countermarsh, your winner. Let's look at the results. Countermarsh won it. Cardwell returns from technical issues late in the race, restarted about 12th or 13th, and he comes home in second. Carden Cochran third. Brian Wax was fourth. Brandon Voiles in the fifth spot, sixth to Camden Johnston. Run out of gas on the last lap there, and he still comes home in sixth. Brady was seventh. Koonsbeck eighth. Hessen in ninth. Paul was 10th. Cody Williams 11th. Weeks comes home 12th. 13th to Jonathan Byram. Sam LeClaire in 14th. And Peyton Anderson rounded out the field. That'll do it for show number 1 here. For the NDRA guys, they will be back, let's see, in about 1 hour. 1 hour's time with the small block modifieds. That race coming to you from, and we are looking quickly here, if we can get this thing to load fast enough. I know they're not at Knoxville. They are going to be at Volusia. So in about an hour, we'll be back with small block modifieds at Volusia. And then later, Hales Corners Street Stock Series, that is at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock Eastern. And then they immediately follow that up with their Pro Late Model Series. So we will have them back-to-back, and Dirt Kings will be on about 9 o'clock Eastern with Dominic Santino on the call for that. So full day of racing for you here. Till we see you guys the next time. Keep it dirty, everybody.